well, we ended up doing something called the Thomas Kilman instrument, which is an instrument that measures your conflict style and how you deal with conflict. And then, so we did it individually, and then we came together as a group to sort of examine everybody's conflict style. It was really illuminating because we realized we had some serious conflict avoiders on the team with some serious, conflict instigators on the team. And so, so consequently, what happens in a situation like that, if you're not aware of it, is that the instigators, it just always goes their way, and everybody else sort of acquiesces. And so doing that instrument and becoming aware of what people's tendencies were, and understanding that you have to have this conflict in order for it to be a healthy team, meant that the instigators had to learn how to be less confrontational, and how the avoiders had to be okay to sort of step up and say, okay, this is my point of view, this is how I feel. So it's helped us anyway to be just kind of like when you do Myers-Briggs, it's helpful just to know what other people's tendencies are, so that you can sort of watch out for those pitfalls and be able to be able to say, Kelly, you're avoiding again. What is your let's hear your point of view on this one. And so that was an incredibly useful instrument, because again, this was a team that we learned really did avoid conflict. I mean, it just, because we had all these avoiders, and so it's helped.
That's great. That's a great experience. Well, and the ones that are conflict instigators really aren't engaging in constructive conflict. Right. It's destructive, because they're always just getting in their way.
Correct, yeah.
So it's more a form of getting my way than it is a form of addressing, mastering true conflict to resolve ideas, issues, and get committed.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or insights? So how many, that issue you talk about, I'm not familiar with it specifically, how many categories does it end up?
There's 4, it puts you into 4.
You probably talked about the two extremes, right? The one end and the other, and there's 2 other.
Yeah, and I could send it to you or bring it to you. It's, you end up in a grid as far as how you feel about conflict and how you address conflict. So you sort of end up in a different grid, and it's great because it tells you what your tendencies are and how to avoid them, how to overcome them, it talks even to about there are certain situations, what kinds of situations might there be where a conflict avoider would be a good one to have on the team at that point. In situations where there's not a lot at stake, and it's a rather innocuous decision that has to be made, then having a conflict avoider might be good to have in a situation like that, so that the conflict instigator doesn't derail the
So there's not artificial conflict injected into it.
Exactly, right. So the instrument helps you to understand the value in those different profiles, regardless of what kind of conflict person you are. So